It is tier list day. Welcome back, everybody. Today we're following up our last week's Harry Potter character tier list. Kind of going with the Harry Potter vibe since the New Year's celebration. Kind of been in the Harry Potter mood. Usually around that Christmas time into New Year's is kind of like Harry Potter season. I don't know about you guys, but I try and rewatch the movies every maybe other year, every couple of years, and they usually do it around Christmas time. So today we're going to rank the movies. I didn't drop an F tier because there's no point. Uh, I don't even really need a D tier. I'm gonna put them in order of what I think is the best movie and which ones I think are the worst movie. So let's. I have them in order. So Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone. Then we have Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix, Half Blood Prince, Deathly Hollows, Part 1, Deathly Hollows Part 2. So, let's let's obviously we're going to start with Philosopher's Stone, Sorcerer's Stone. I think that this one is an easy A tier, and I'll tell you why. It's kind of like going back and watching New Hope, right? It's nostalgic. It takes you back to that childhood innocence. It makes you happy, even though the movie itself, it's like as an adult, it's kind of boring. It's not super intense like some of the later movies, and it's not the most, I don't know, exciting movie. But you just you just get thrown into that wizarding world and you get super excited. You get to see everything for the first time. Harry's super innocent and he doesn't even know what the hell's going on. You realize how shitty it is for him. You get to see the characters that you read in the books years past finally on the big screen. You think Snape's a shitty asshole. You get to see a glimpse of Voldemort. I think it's super nostalgic. I do think the follow up, Chamber of Secrets, is also fantastic. I love the big snake at the end. He's super cool. I do think that this one's also pretty slow for the most part. It's a lot of character building. It's a lot of getting used to who these people are. Why do we care about them? Should we care about them? And then obviously we get the big serpent, the basilisk. Yep, that's what it was called. I was looking for that word. And you kind of get to see what's going on. You find out all the shit with Tom Riddle and how Malfoy's dad had planted the journal with Ginny, and it's super crazy. It's a really well written story, but I think movie wise, it's a little slow. It's probably going to be close to last place for me, but that's just because I think I think after this next one, it just really takes off. I think Prisoner of Azkaban is the worst movie in my eyes. I think that it's just I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because it's the one that I've seen the most, so I just don't want to see it anymore. It's like you're right in the middle of tension starting to build, shit starting to hit the fan, but you're also still kind of waiting for shit to hit the fan. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wrong in this. I something about Prisoner of Azkaban to me is super slow. Like I know we get to meet Lupin. He's a great character. He's a big part of Prisoner of Azkaban. You kind of start understanding who Sirius Black is. Like I love that character development, but the movie just doesn't hit. But then we get into Goblet of Fire. I think Goblet of Fire is arguably, I might put it at the best movie. It's definitely S tier. I love the whole entire build up to the Triwizard Tournament. I think it's fucking just awesome. Harry kind of almost gets villainized, but everyone thinks that, you know, no one knows really what's going on. Obviously, Mad Eye Moody being a fucking, it's not really him. It's I don't know, dude with the fucking little tick with his tongue that drives me nuts. I think that Goblet of Fire is the best. I think I'm going to say that it is. Deathly Hollows Part 2 is really fucking the climax. So I don't know. We'll get there. I just it's something about like right when the Triwizard tournament hits, everything just changes. Right. I remember seeing this for the first time when it came out. Like you get to see dragons and they look fucking sick. And the build up to them too, they're like, this isn't a joke. Like y'all could die. Shout out Cedric. Um and then you get past the dragons into the trying to figure out the puzzle for or the clue for the next event, which is the underwater thing, and the sirens look super crazy and scary. And then obviously we get into the maze portion, and I personally I didn't read the books before I saw the movies. I was not expecting anything, like I had no idea what was going to happen. And then when they touched the cup, the Triwizard Cup or whatever it's called, the Goblet of Fire. Is it the Goblet of I don't know. The trophy. And Cedric and Harry get teleported to that graveyard, and Voldemort's just there, and it just turns into a big fight, and Cedric gets zapped. It's just crazy. But yeah, I really like that one, as you can tell. Order of the Phoenix is super interesting to me, okay? Because, like, everything to do with Umbridge, you just want to pull your fucking hair out listening to her talk, and how she interacts with people just makes you so incredibly upset. But it's, like, so good. It's, like, so well written and so well made that it's like, damn, this is good content. But at the same time, you're just like, oh, if I could just fucking give her the, oh, I'm gonna go over myself, I would. But, like, sadly, I'm just a muggle. It, like, I dislike the movie because Umbridge, but then once she's out of the picture, shit really hits the fan. Like, I think this is the tipping point between, Goblet of Fire kind of is that tipping point of like, okay, this might not be a kid's book anymore. This might not be a kid's show anymore. Cedric gets killed, like we're talking about some heavy subjects. But then going into, Harry and the squad going to the Ministry of Magic, and the Death Eater showing up, and, Bellatrix is there, and she just zaps Sirius Black. Like, right then and there, the whole demeanor is set. You're like, okay, this is, like, dark as shit. And then, obviously, Dumbledore and Voldemort square off. You know what? It's S tier, too. I shouldn't be fucking around. It's S tier. Half-Blood Prince. See, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've seen these last three movies the least. I've probably seen these ones 5 to 10 times each. Somewhere in that range. Prisoner of Azkaban the most. Probably Goblet of Fire the second. These two are probably equal. I've seen Order of the Phoenix maybe 4 or 5 times. I've seen these ones maybe twice. So I'm not gonna get into a lot of details with these ones just because I don't want to piss anyone off. I think that all three of these are easily S tier. I think how I'm gonna rate it is I'm gonna go Half-Blood Prince here, Deathly Hallows Part 1 here, and then Deathly Hallows Part 2 here. I think Deathly Hallows Part 1, you're building up, it's half a movie, right? You get all the build up to the climax, and then when we finally get the climax, it's worth it, right? We get to finally see everything pan out. You get to I don't want to misquote, but I think you get all of the crazy emotional scenes in Part 2 where you learn everything about Snape, Dumbledore dying, Harry and Voldemort. Everything just kind of comes to fruition. The scene with Longbottom, those are all in Part 2, and it just, I personally think that it wraps up probably better than almost any franchise. When I think of stuff like this, I'm not going to include Marvel because there's a lot of Marvel. when you think of the big three in my eyes, it's Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and Star Wars. And even though Star Wars has produced more content now than Harry Potter, and Lord of the Rings has produced the least amount of content of the three. I think you universally always just compare those three because they were all coming out at the same time. Obviously, the original Star Wars movies were, in the 70s and 80s, but the prequels were coming out at the same time Harry Potter was coming out, and they were all coming out at the same time as Lord of the Rings. So they just always get compared. And I think, as far as the big three go, I think Lord of the Rings obviously are the best movie adaptations. They're made the best, but I do think Harry Potter concludes just as good, if not better. I'm not gonna say that. Sorry. I think it concludes just as good as Lord of the Rings, and I think depending on where you're at as far as a Star Wars fan goes, you can argue that they concluded better than the prequels of Star Wars. For me, Harry Potter is third place on these. I just want to kind of throw that out there so I don't get any. I don't want to get it twisted, my guys. A big Harry Potter fan, but even a bigger Lord of the Rings fan, and even a bigger Star Wars fan over all three. Anyways, irrelevant. This is how I'm going to rank the movies. Goblet of Fire, Part 2, Order of the Phoenix, Half-Blood Prince, Part 1, Deathly Hallows, Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban. Let me know what you guys think. We're going to check the community ratings really quick, see what people think, see if I'm crazy or not. What? What? Excuse me? What? How is Prisoner of Azkaban number 1? Am I missing something? Part 2, Sorcerer's Stone, Goblet of Fire, Order of Phoenix. That Chamber of Secrets, D. And then Half-Blood Prince is last? I don't know about that. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'm a shitty Harry Potter fan or something. But I disagree with that a lot. I don't know. Maybe these are people who are super heavy into the books. So you compare, because that's always the worst thing, right? Is the books are obviously better. We all know this. We just know this is a reality. And obviously they would be better. You can fit 10 hours of content in a book, and we have a 2.5 hour movie. So you're missing a lot of shit. But man, that community ranking blew me away. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Truly, if you're a Harry Potter fan or not, what you thought about the New Year's celebration where they all got together, and if I'm a bad Harry Potter fan. Maybe I am. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.